In today's video, we are going to be showing you how to factory reset or reflash your NerdQAxe. So a couple of problems that sometimes happen with these bitaxes or solo miners is that the firmware messes up and that tends to crash the device. So we did one for the bitaxe, and the NerdQAxe is very similar because it's very similar in terms of the AXOS and the firmware. It's just a little bit different in terms of where you're getting the firmware from. So with the bitaxe LAN mod, there was a couple of kind of troubleshooting that we had to do where we had to keep reflashing a lot of these devices. So I thought I'd make a video on this, just showing you how to reflash the firmware onto a NerdQAxe. And I believe that this will work for any NerdQAxe version that you can see in the web flasher. So a couple of troubleshooting things. If the fans are spinning when you plug it in, that's obviously a good thing. If the screen is black, that might potentially be a problem as well, and it's not actually receiving anything to the screen, so that might just be a problem with your actual screen. Or if it's not spinning up at all, it's probably a component part or the power supply. So there's a lot of things that you could look for. When we plug this in, let's just give it a whirl here, you can see that the fan spins up, but there's no screen. It's not turning on at all. So we do have power to the whole system, but for some reason the screen is not displaying. Now this could be a sign that it's actually not working in terms of the whole miner, or it could also be a sign that some of the firmware has messed up in the background. This tends to happen when you're swapping firmwares out or loading up older firmwares or newer firmwares onto it when you're messing around. Another cause for this is unplugging whilst the firmware is updating. So if you accidentally unplug the miner whilst the firmware updates, that is going to cause it to crash, and then it's not going to display anything afterwards. One little test is you can feel the actual heat from the chip. That is a good test to know that it's actually still running and not just cooling off. Because this fan's not blowing very hard, it means that it's probably not hashing at the moment. So it doesn't need to have a high RPM to cool down anything because the miner isn't hashing. So those are a couple of things you need to look for. As long as the fan spins up, that means we have power. So if the fan doesn't spin up, it's probably a kind of troubleshoot with the power connector right here, or it might be potentially with the actual power supply that you're using. So this is a great example that we can run through, show you how to actually do it. So for this to work, you're going to need two things, like I said in the bitaxe video. Firstly, you're going to need the power supply to be on, and you'll need a device to actually run the web flasher from. And then you'll also need a USB-C type to go into the LCD by there. So on the bitaxe, it's actually on the board, but for the NerdQAxe, it's on the LCD by there. Okay, so we have our USB-C right here, and that just plugs into there. We'll show you kind of it in a minute. I do want to note as well, with the USB-C, you are going to want to have one that can transfer data, not just a charger. So a lot of your phone USB-Cs tend to be just charging and not actually transferable of data, and not actually configurable for data transfer. So ones that would transfer data, so I can't really recommend any. Most of them will transfer data, but if you're having a problem, it's probably because of that, not transferring data. So I recommend using one that maybe connects to your laptop, that you'll run into a hard drive, something like that, because that is capable of data transfer. And don't use your phone connector or phone charger to actually plug into there. So the setup is you're going to plug your USB-C into the LCD there, and also plug it into your device that you're going to flash the firmware with. So we have it connected to our computer, and then we're going to plug it into here. So now let's move over to the computer. So what you're going to want to do is plug in your USB-C and then plug into your device and load up your computer. Can't show you this now because this is further away than the actual computer, but we're going to show you on the computer what it should look like. So as once as you connected the USB-C to your device and powered it on, you should be ready to actually go in and boot. The first thing that you need to do is hold down the boot button by here, and that should set it into boot mode. If it doesn't actually run up or show anything, then just continue with the process, because normally what it is the LCD that also needs to be reset. But as long as you hold down that button to boot it, then you should be in a boot state, and then we can just web flash the UI and firmware onto this. So let's head over to the computer now, and we'll show you how that works. Okay, so once you have it actually plugged into the USB-C, you should see something like this where you have a green light that shows up, and that's going to mean that it is connected into your device. If this doesn't show up, it's probably a problem with the actual LCD component by here or the display. So that's not actually working overall. But if it comes on with a green light, that's a good thing because it means that it definitely is connected to your computer. Everything else, power should be plugged in and the fan should just be spinning like that. So now let's get over to the computer and show you how to flash. So once your NerdQAxe is connected to the computer, you're going to head over to this link. I'll leave it in the description. It is a NerdQAxe web flasher. This came kind of after the bitaxe web flasher because a lot of people were asking for it. It's basically the same clone with different firmwares for the NerdQAxe versions of these solo miners. So you should be able to click connect and it should show your device by here. So USB-C, JTAG, and then debug unit. Click connect, and now you want to select your device. So you can reset any of these down here, all the way up to NerdQAxe Gamma, OctAxe, the NerdQAxe Gamma, all of them. Today we're just using the NerdQAxe++, so we click on there, and then we can select a firmware as well. So depending on what you want to go with, if let's for example say that this firmware didn't work well with your NerdQAxe, you can always revert back to a different version. But normally just go for the latest version. And then all we want to do is click start flashing. And from here, the flashing is going to just run up as a percentage, and we'll show you kind of the screen of the NerdQAxe as we're doing this. So you have 9% on the screen, and the NerdQAxe should start to reset after the flashing is 100% complete. So we still have that green light in there, and that should be flickering basically, and that should be on, and then we're just going to wait for it to restart back up. So after that is complete, we're nearly at 100% now. It's going to say restarting if we give it 2 minutes. So flashing completed, restarting device, please wait. And then it should restart the device on its own if we just wait for a couple of seconds. So there we have it, flashing complete successfully, and the NerdQAxe should boot up again. So you have your LCD come back online. All you have to do now is actually unplug the USB-C, and that should bring it back to the failed state that we see in there. So what it's going to do is ask you to connect to the following network. So it brings it all the way back to the start and doesn't let you actually connect to a pool. So you have to go in through your Wi-Fi settings the first time you actually set up your NerdQAxe and set it up through this Wi-Fi portal. Then it's going to take you over to the device and you can input your pool and whatever other settings you want in terms of overclocks. And that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do to reset it. Remember, check for power supply if that's actually working, check it on a different device. Also check that the fans are spinning as well, and then check that your LCD is actually coming up as well. And then the last check is when you put in your USB-C, you want to see a green light on the back of this to make sure that it's still functioning. And then you put it into boot mode using these two buttons by here. So that I believe that this is reset and that is the boot mode. And that should bring it all the way back to the boot settings where you can start flashing it. So if you found this useful or you struggled on any part of this, please let me know in the comments below and I'll try to help you out. Make sure you like this video and subscribe for more content like this.